This is going to be on the absence of directedness in workforces all over the world, the fakeness of leaders all over the world, the immense presence of the word leadership bandied about in proportion to how little of it there is, and a kind of game, a kind of fake little game of leading going on. It comes from looking at foreign cap firms in Tokyo. I came to Japan 45 years ago and worked with foreign capital firms there. And there were some real utter stupidities in their management. Their Western managers were much more incompetent and they were incompetent in their own culture. And then they came over here and they were grossly more incompetent here because they didn't have the mental tools to read differences and do things with differences and operate in differences. And so more and more as they got tired of the differences, they fell back on, what worked in their hometowns, which just looked utterly stupid to all the Chinese, Japanese, Koreans around here. And that didn't work at all. But you could cover it up because it's basically just a large sales office. And if you do nothing during your 4 years, that ends up producing a lot of money. So, but there's a mystery here. And the mystery is that why Westerners and Western managers lead so little. And there really is a kind of mental trick or something in how you grow up in the West. Maybe it comes from really, really bad quality fathering in the families of Western families, which you can observe palpably these days on the streets in Denmark and Germany and other countries. Maybe it comes from a descartian aspect that the ideas in the mind are what the mind is for, and everything other than ideas in the mind is junk or to be ignored or slighted. Maybe it comes from Christianity's homophobic fear of the body or something. St. Paul's little sexual problems. Uh, the flight from the world that Christianity did to get people not realizing that it was Christianity in part that undermined Rome and made it fail and caused the world GDP in Europe to drop to a fifth what it had been for the next 1,000 years. It wasn't until 1400 that GDP recovered during the Renaissance to Roman levels. Christianity presided over 1,000-year enormous impoverishment of everyone. Not to mention all the torturing of ladies as witches that went on under the Pope's gracious majesty. Um, I don't know the cause. It's a really profound thing to think about. Let me describe the situation for you. I went to ING Insurance in Tokyo, and they had all these Dutch managers there. They're very tall. They speak really good English, well educated, and they do not mingle with employees. They don't talk to employees. They don't know themselves what they are supposed to be doing in their job, and therefore they don't convey to their employees what they are supposed to be doing in their job. And nobody knows what anybody is supposed to be doing. And I observed this 4 years ago, and 3 years ago, and last year, and this year. It never changes. Um, there are no career paths. There's no performance indicators. There's policy announcements by the top guy that nobody follows. Um, and if you go to IBM Japan, the same thing, fake research for the customer that's not real research. They're sort of repeating what we did at Xerox PARC in 1972 and 2012. That's 82, 92, 102. That's 40 years later, repeating old research. Um, why are Westerners so unable to lead? I mean, they really have never seen in their life, I think, decent, full human beings at work. So that's number one. They've never seen a full person at work. Number two, they've never been in or seen a full human community of care. They've never seen men take care of men and other people. They've seen men take care of themselves, but they haven't seen men take care of communities and other people. They've never seen public service. They've never seen a person do something for others. They consider that female and they avoid it. It's a mystery. I mean, they Western workplaces don't allow the full person to be at work, and they're not communities. And you just do your job. That's the culture. You just do your job. And then they call it professional behavior, which means don't bring your full person to work. We don't want 90% of you. It's amazing. And we want employee engagement, but we only want that 10% engaged. The 10% that kisses their butt and that does what it's told without asking questions or knowing what the hell the big picture is. Really, that's the equation. It's let me give you an example. I mean, it's so utterly stupid when you're outside the West that you just look at these poor, pitiful CEOs and managers, and you just think how utterly moronic. They look like chimpanzees in a zoo. I mean, really, they're that stupid. I worked for two sales forces. I worked for a lot of sales forces, but I had a job while I was in this religious order working for Borough Salesforce. And they gave me some IQ test, and I scored 100 points higher than anyone in the history of the entire company had scored on their stupid IQ test. As if an IQ test has any relationship to selling. It's like if a customer gives you three really hard questions and you answer it, he'll buy. Right. Why don't they have like, see if I can eat 5 bananas in a minute? Maybe that'll qualify me to sell. It's just so, I mean, you can tell from the very first encounter that these are a bunch of morons. And then they had the sales force structured so that all the guys with experience had strong financial incentives to tell nothing to us new guys. And they didn't. And then they would rotate in once every 5 years into our territory, make the only 4 sales possible, which they knew about years and years ago, and then rotate out, and then we'd be left what we were left over trying to knock on doors to cold calling for new sales with people who never had bought from us. And then I happened to work for a Japanese computer sales force later back in Japan, and it was just night and day. The senior people, the department chiefs, the vice president, the president of the company ate dinners with us several times in the first 6 months, and told us the names and phone numbers and styles and problems and quirks of every person they knew in our area. And the whole management was paid to tell us what they knew so that we could sell well. And they went on calls with us. They went on after hours drinking, introducing us, building relations repeatedly, not once, but dozens of times. And they were on call for us when we needed assistance with getting a sale. Their bodies moved. They didn't just sit at a desk and act like a big monkey. It was really night and day. And my God, the sales blew past Burroughs in American companies. It was incredible. And they had full people at work, the whole person working on this. Such tremendous dedication and diligence because the entire person and personality and their life and their career was being cared for by their seniors. So maybe it's the Confucian norm of seniors are responsible that these young lives in their hands grow into full trees. And then this American lack of a Confucian tradition that we're all a fight to get some of the pie before we die. And I'm bigger than you and stronger than you, and I'm going to manipulate and hoard information so you don't have a chance, and I get everything. Which is a real thrilling environment of work and leadership to be in. I really feel in a way that the entire America image of fathering and leadership is psychopathic and mentally ill. That there's something sick about American people and culture. Deeply, deeply, deeply sick. Real serious mental illness shared by 200 million people or more. That's a hypothesis at the moment, but that's a feeling I get from looking at these companies in Asia doing no leading at all, doing no selling at all, not allowing the full person at work at all, hoarding information to protect their careers so that no one knows what the hell they're doing. And then they're competing with Asian companies where none of that's true and where everybody knows, where the full person's invited, where the seniors work actively all the time to help the juniors learn what the seniors already know. And people take care of people's needs and to know about them. And that being professional doesn't mean being a little peg in a machine where nobody talks to you and gives you context. It's two different worlds.